And so it begins. Number 20. We've come a
No
long way,
men
baby.
wanted.
Huh?
I said no men wanted.
No men wanted. I had grabbed that frame once before out of the video. It's a Queen video with David Bowie. But just listening to all the trash and watching the video, I was reminded that's pretty much where we're at, ain't it?
Guess.
And not because of labor, because of
Oh,
for
there's
another
a
month anyway. Then they're supposed to unwoke us, I guess.
called a Ruger X Mag RXM Glock clone, Glock 19. But it has aspects that Glock do not put in the pew-pew. Like it uses a Steyr form of fire control system. The cuts for optics.
More. I
Watch
guess
it.
that looks all right.
The Glock store talk about, is it a Glock killer? No, a lot cheaper than Glock.
All right, I didn't catch any of that. It's bubbling in and out. It's going blip 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 blop blip blop. Clock store blip blip.
The video is from the Glock store. It is a Ruger and Magpul collaboration. It's called an RXM. It uses
RXM.
It's basically a Glock 19 clone, third gen. Uses a Steyr style fire control system, so you can the serial numbered part is the fire control, not the grip. It has a optic cut on it, but it's unique because it takes multiple. Once you take the cover off, it takes multiple types of optics.
We are doing.
Glock,
Is that in red?
but not out yet. Yeah, it shot. I wish for it to go.
New lines aren't allowed. What?
What?
Give me the screenshot. I'm trying to do the admin for yesterday. And it's got yesterday's title up there, and it looks just fine. But now that I went to video details, it's got a red box around it, and it says new lines aren't allowed. Well, then why'd you put it there, TubeTube? And the whining.
They wanted to confuse you.
They're testing me. Oh, I forgot to.
They don't really encourage new people. You think they would because that means they get more ad revenue.
So, all right. Is that yesterday? Number 19. The checklist is updated in the text file, but not at the vidya. So let's copy from there. And then we'll paste it in there. Oh, how lovely. It's amazing how that works. Computer magic. Blah, blah, blahs. There's the thumbnail. Save your work before you go further. Changes saved. Show mores. No. Sure. No. No. You don't remember any tags for yesterday? Let's do fruit, vegetables. Barcodes.
Oh, here's something weird that we've been experiencing past couple of months that's coming from our insurance company. Food parcels. We got
Like
2
from
months.
insurance.
Yep. Health insurance.
Yeah. I think my in-laws are getting something.
1 month it was a fruit box. Then it was a box with canned goods, dry canned goods and dry goods like brown rice, 2 bags of brown rice,
Oh my gosh.
whole wheat spaghetti, peas, succotash, chicken in an envelope, tuna in a can, tomato sauce, frijoles, pintos, and black beans.
Oh boy. Yum.
And then we got another one of those. And then they sent another vegetable that had vegetables in it. But the way they shipped it versus putting a cooler pack in it, they put a frozen pack in it, which kind of killed some of the vegetables because they froze them when they weren't meant to be frozen. It was some sort of leafy green. It was either a form of lettuce or kale or spinach or something like that. Carrots, onion, apple.
Range brew. Octogenary. Yes. POTUS. Georgia.
Not Georgia again.
Willis. Wade. Merchant.
Do you think they'll investigate that New York district attorney?
The one that did the criminal case or the attorney general that did the other weird case?
The attorney general that's in charge of, not the attorney general, the one that's in charge of everything, that went after Bush, went after Penny. Though something they're not mentioning is a very similar case to Penny's case, but it involved someone of a different skin color. They didn't even seek prosecution. It's like he's bending to the will of his racial vocals, which
Yeah,
falls
and
under
that just goes everywhere. It's politics.
right. But he picked on the wrong person who can instigate a investigation into him for corruption and what is it improper? No, what was it called? It had to do with adjudication, where you abuse the power of adjudication.
Yeah, misuse of the courts or whatever.
Yeah, I can't. I know the legal term for it, but I forgot it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they would be dumb too.
I don't.
Well, then they'd just
I
be
think
doing what they accuse everybody else of doing.
prosecutorial misconduct. They need to go after all of them. The ones in Georgia, the ones in New York, the ones in California.
What's up in California?
No, I'm just saying all of them, everywhere. You break the law, you steal shit, you don't get arrested, don't go to court. If you practically kill someone, you don't go to court, they let you go. But if you have a mean Trump sign in your front yard, they want to prosecute you to the full extent to the law or make one up.
Is that true? Are they trying to prosecute someone over a sign?
No, over tweets and other stuff. Having an opinion in California is against the law. And there's a rumor, and I emphasize rumor, that Harris might be running for the governorship of California.
Yeah, they've rumored all kinds of things. She won't answer yes or no.
She's going to run for California. She may get moving. Don't they have an election in 2026?
No idea. I really don't worry about it. I hope they all stay over there.
That's what I'm afraid of. They won't.
Yeah, they haven't for the last 50 years. And I don't think they're enticing each other to all tip this country so the East Coast rises up out of the water. If only, 80 or 90 million would just go west. Gold rush. Yeah, that's the ticket. Bitcoin rush. Something. Not a sponsor.
Build new
Yeah,
cities in Kansas.
I don't wish that on the poor Kansas people.
There's a lot of Kansas with no people. But well, you know what else that does? Puts them right in Tornado Alley.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't be knowing.
Maybe they can go visit the land of Oz.
They already go there every day. The poppies, a little bit of opiate or something. Not an
Go,
accusation. I just
go, go pester the Munchkins.
to do the admin for yesterday. Got it done. As done as I'm getting it. Cause I'm cool like that. We're already just doing the chitty-chatty. Let's do some chitty-chatty. The elephant in the country is Madison, Wisconsin. Don't want to talk about it yet.
Oh, did you do any reading on that more recent school shooting?
You talking about the one yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
I'll see if we can find something else. I got it on the list. Should be up on the screen if you're looking at the screen. It's part of the list. Always #TooSoon. The only thing I really thought about it was a couple of thoughts, but by comparison to the last several, let's say we're going to skim across it and then we'll come back to it. Let's circle back to it like Jen, what's her name,
There-
used to say. 35, Madison. Let's circle back to that. Compared to others. I am HO. Probably wrong. I'm not putting all that garbage in there. Some things went right. And it's always hashtag too soon, blah, blah, blah. Hashtag too many. And of
Yeah.
course, the usual. I got it up there. It's in the list. I probably didn't indent it enough. Oh boy. Do some admin. Let's do some more admin. Let's look at, get off my screen. Let's look at bell thingy. 8 days ago. No bell thingies. We're doing good. Queen and Bowie, under pressure. I was just giving it another listen. Said, yep, let's have that. We did 20 of these. Should we go back and look at, or this is 20, I think. I hope it's not 21. Oh, no, it is 21. Because the first one was number no, Australian style. Oh, well, doesn't count. It's number no. No, nowhere. Concealed carry. I thought the other day it had more views than that. That's all right. Should be taking screenshots every day. I'm not. Cool like that.
Too bad those stupid people won't take the opportunity, because today would have been a perfect day for a class. Be out on the range.
Yep.
Not too cold, not too warm. Sun goes down early.
They might get sent packing. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Not Mr. Randy. He won't. We'll make an accommodation. Every year, for many years, he has said, this is going to be the last time. I'm going to finally retire. And thankfully, he does not. How do I get to the thing? How do we go to the thing? Go to videos. Your videos. New tab. Then we go to dashboard. That's what I forgot. Go to the dashboard. We have gained 0 and lost 0 subscribers. We did good for yesterday. We got 12 total views. That added up to, average view duration, 1 hour 26. That's some good dwell time. That's what I call it. I don't know what the rest of them call it. Hanging around, watching stuff time. I do believe I have responded to those comments that's telling me I still haven't responded to. And I believe them just ever revolving last 28 days. 1.9 thousand views. Watch time in hours. 174.6. I'm not keeping up with it enough. I have to go to analytics or something and figure it out. But what we need to ask is, how many views and watch hours do you need to get monetized on YouTube? 4,000 hours over the past 12 months. You must have 1,000 subscribers. So they don't even care about the view The view count doesn't matter. 4,000 hours every 12 months. Are we doing enough? Is this enough? I'm gonna have to get a giggly girl. Yay. Open calculator says me. So if we're doing 175 a month times 12, that's 2,100. That's not enough hours. Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to the missus again. She only got half mad at me last time I said, if I buy you an undersized t-shirt, will you put on a full coverage brassiere and sit in front of a camera and just giggle every now and then? We'll get the hours. She said, no. But she didn't yell at me and scold me. I believe that is what increases video watchers. I'll be wrong. Oh, well. You just have more hours. How do we get more hours? You keep uploading the content. I watched a video the other night. Said something about stop uploading content all the time. Blah, blah, blah. You just can't win. Half of the tubers, pros, 100,000 viewers that try to tell you and help you out how to. It seems to me. Half of them. Yapping about tube and hours and views/viewers. Half of them say what you should do is upload a little something every day, especially shorts. And the other half say upload once a week, a 2 to 7 hour video. So I don't know what to do. I'll just keep going with my guts. Yeah. Trying to do just the chit chat. Chitty-Chatty. All right. Let's get to it. Get it off the list. Then we can go drift on to other chit chats. Let's circled back. Madness. Madison. School. Bad business. Everybody knows what's up. Has some checklist items. What went right? Let's talk about what went right. I was rather impressed by the police communication, all going through the chief and going through the chief's office and public relations. They were very coordinated compared to all the previous's being Keystone copper capers. Madison was apparently prepared for an emergency, for a bad time. Last night's news conference press interview, the chief was a little chokied up. I did note that he said a second grader called. Then he said, let that sink in. And then his eyes kind of wandered and he swallowed really hard. You couldn't hear it, but you could see it in his throat. Good job, Chief. You did well. A lot of people break under those circumstances. They had a lot of announced at their last night conference thing by the chief. Uh, like we talked about in a couple previous streams, I guess. Maybe it was yesterday. Uh, not necessarily stuff from those books, but from, can't even think of his name. The
Dad?
psychological aspects. The sheepdog guy. He's worried about the psychology of things. And I always worry about it. They have a lot of, if you need someone to talk to, call this number. If you need someone to talk to after hours, call another number. A lot of resources around good old Madison. I've been to Madison. I don't remember it. I was driving truck, I've passed through a lot of places. I've been there. I don't remember it at all.
Be right
Chief's
back.
country, isn't it? It's not that. It's hard to say. Madison population 28305 in 2023. Put it in the notes. Good resources. Counseling available. Community stood up. Population. In most places in North Carolina, that's a big place. From where I'm from, not so much. We'd still call it a city. But the city proper of Los Angeles has 3.821 million. Let's try one of the subdivisions. Pasadena has a third of Madison. 280, half. A little less than half. So it's a pretty good city. Pretty big county, I guess, where Madison is. A lot. And the chief mentioned it. Go watch his press releases. Um, I don't know. There's more, I guess, that went right. The response time was good. The discussions about it, be warned. It's a gallows humor, police and military and security thing. And
Anybody that
it's,
works in EMS.
yes. And they did talk about the EMS people too. The chief did last night.
Okay.
And where it goes, it's a combination in my mind, in my or otherwise empty noggin. Uh, it's a whole, I don't know what you call it. Munging is what I call it, but joining together of several song titles and lyrics of the world famous, the King, Elvis. Because in some of his lyrics he says, wise men say only. And you got to put a little beat in there. Because what he says next in that song is the title of another. Fools rush in. And then the other part of the other song is where angels something. Don't dare to go, or I don't remember. Let's ask the Google bar. Elvis, fools, where angels fear to tread. Fear to tread.
Isn't that a song by Elvis Presley?
Elvis. Huh?
Isn't that a song by Elvis? Fools
It's a,
Rush In?
yes. They're both or all three songs by Elvis. He says, wise men say, and I'm not going to try to mimic the Elvis. Go look it up. Only fools rush in. And then there's another song called Fools Rush In Where Angels Fear to Tread. And that always makes me think of the rescue rangers, cops, certain militaries, EMS and firefighters, amber lamps,
Yep.
which according to reports, they
We fools rush in.
do. And the report, I don't want to misquote him, but very shortly after the first police officer showed up, in good time. It's a big city. I already said while you were away, the population is 28305.
Yeah.
And the one officer went in alone. By then, it's comparing and contrasting. It's a big difference between this one and Uvalde, Texas, because there was not an active shooter anymore. I already said warnings. I'm going to let some of these words fall out.
Well, give you an idea. What was your population of LA County?
I don't know, in county. I looked up a while ago, this city was 3 million, 2.8 million or something. 3.821 million, and Pasadena was a little less than half of Madison.
The reason I was making the comment, that's 1/3 of the entire population of the state of North Carolina, which is 10.8.
Right. And that's just the city proper. The county has, I guess, I'm not going to look it up right now. I think the county still has more in that county than the whole state of North Carolina. And Chief said, with one officer in the building, paramedics, whatever, all the names,
Not quite.
EMS, EMT, rushed in.
As of July 2023, the population of Los Angeles County is 9,663,345.
I hate to hear
Almost
that.
the entire. Hmm?
I hate to hear that. When last I checked, in the first big year of coronavirus, LA County still had more than NC. If there's less in the county than there is in this state now, that means they came here. Oh, would you
Texas.
California people go back home?
They also go to Texas.
They go everywhere, not there. And they wrecked it. I know, I'm from there. But I escaped when no one else was. Everybody was still gold rushing out there. But the paramedics, the EMS, the EMTs, the coppers, everybody, they had already been given the all clear. The first officer in found the bad guy, non-gender specific, self-unalived.
When, because San Francisco used to be the flower people capital of the world. Now it's Dallas. Dallas won it back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, now San Francisco is just the
Is it?
non-watered toilet of the world, I understand.
Yes. Yes. Well, when you got apps of the map, maps San Francisco on your phone with an extra app that lets you know where fecal metal and needles have been found.
Gosh
That's a
knows.
bad sign.
My mind flitted off.
It's a fecal hole.
Apparently, the Madison, Wisconsin, and whatever county they're in, the chief said it several times, and I just don't remember. I have a lot of stuff in my brain. What county is Madison, Wisconsin in? Dane, D-A-N-E. Apparently, they studied that Uvalde report that I keep saying for 20 live streams now. Hang on, I'm scrolling my notes back because it was in yesterday's. The Uvalde report. I was going to tie it to something else that happened yesterday.
There's only one place that has more people per square mile than LA, and that's New York City.
I'm still wondering, how does that compare to like the Gaza Strip?
Gaza Strip?
Yeah, it's a very small place with a 2 approximately million people population.
They have a lot less than they used to.
3650. DW thinking Madison and Dane CO must have read and absorbed some of. And if I'm overcrediting you coppers, don't fix it. Keep it that way. Let me have my fantasies that somebody somewhere who gets paid to do such things did such things on the clock. Because your response seems good. They had coordinated command, they had coordinated communications, and then as soon as they were semi up
It
and
has
running,
15,600 people per square mile.
who?
According to the UN population approximation, the Gaza Strip has. Oh, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Yep. So, a lot of good. The neighbors all pitched in. They mentioned several food and beverage outlets that helped out and volunteered out and all kinds of things. It seemed well responded to and well coordinated. Good job. These bad events are going to happen. So that's what went right. A lot of things went right. The all the first responders, just because a couple of cops or one cop or somebody says appears clear, you never know. I'm sure they had been told by somebody in the building, that's your bad guy. The bad guy took itself out. And no, there's no more. Or they wouldn't have said no more active bad guys. But the fact it was investigated quickly, cleared quickly, and we won't know. Another thing about the communications, big difference that I noted. is that the two that I hope are still in critical, or I don't know what to say, condition of victims, Madison. There was reported as of last night and this morning 2 in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. When I noticed very carefully, or was very carefully disseminated information, and it still seems to be, that the injured, they're not offering expectations, which they did in Butler, Pennsylvania, about 2 people with very bad serious injuries, critical injuries.
Back.
Very good. Welcome back. And they had said in Butler, Pennsylvania, not expected to survive, blah, blah, blah. And then they did. They pulled through. I hope they're doing okay and getting all the proper counseling and guidances. I don't see an instant update. Anyway, that's what I noticed, is that the 2, nobody's calling.
Oh, back to what we were discussing before I got called.
Yeah, the Gaza thing.
Yeah. Gaza is 15,600 per square mile. New York City is, as of 2020, 29,303.2 per square mile.
That is dense. New York, you're dense. 42:30. New York is more dense than Gaza, right?
Yep. By about a third.
Then we'll just move right on to methods. I used to work on or why are we not allowed to say this anymore on YouTube? Somebody explain it to me. On a self-unaliving hotline kind of thing. And part of the training was, in writing, we never discuss methods.
Now, here's something you may be interested in, and I think this is LA County. The population per square mile is 15,853. So it's just a little bit more populated per square mile than Gaza.
And so is LA County.
But
County?
it's by about 200. It's 15,853 per square mile, and that's LA County.
200 per SQMI. Got it. And I did put in my thing the methods and the madness. What
My
I
father-in-law said to
noticed,
say hi.
howdy. And this is it. I didn't mark it down as what went wrong. I got fine. What went right covered. We got that covered. Bravo, everybody. Everybody in the whole city. What the news is doing and the politicians are doing And I don't mark it as wrong. It just is what we all do. It's what, and it's always hashtag too soon or hashtag too late or whatever. Is all anybody cares about is what type of firearm was it, what blah blah blah, who owned it, who bought it, and shouldn't we have better laws? And it just
No,
becomes
the
a
laws
big, to me, bunch of people running around not being still, casting themselves about and feeling like, I got to say something, I got to say something. Calm down. Call the
or
hotline that the police chief gave the number for and say, do I got to say something? And let the counselor say, why don't you tell me how you feel? Stop talking to the press, politicians. You look the fool. But it is what it is. It's just, what can we learn from this? Hopefully next time, let it go 2 days before you start with the whole, there's some kind of thing that we can click our heels together and hold this paper up to the stars in the universe and it's gonna end all this. It's not. That's why I say here you are being believers in talisman and worshipers of idols. There's no
there's no
truth in it.
magic. There's no magical law that's going to make people more sane or better treat each other better. People will be people. Outlaws will be outlaws. Good
Right,
guys
and
generally will be.
it's tough, especially when you're a paid mouth like a politician.
Or a news reporter.
Yeah, but the news people, they're not
Can't
supposed to, but they do. They just go
they?
find somebody that they can goad or draw into saying that stuff so they don't just say it themselves. It's very tricky. I don't, and
Well,
hey,
sometimes they just say it themselves. They take something someone said and cut it, splice it till it meets what they want it to meet.
right, madness, casting about,
Well, at least this time they.
calling upon the universe. I'm trying to be careful how I say this. Slash deities of all kinds to give us a law.
Have laws. It's just the problem is certain DAs do not wish to enforce the laws.
There's nothing you're going to do, and it's unfortunate, but I teach this in all of the reason I have worked in. I'm sorry, Elizabeth popped a chat in the chat. The reason I have worked in court mandated programs is that I have found, if not mandated, most people will not get involved in the program. But a
Yep.
judge in a sentencing hanging over gets many motivated. And we all of us, I will claim it. I must be one because I have them. I work in them. I train with them. I train police, law enforcement, security, and militaries how to use them, not only legally, but better, faster, stronger, bionically. And I teach this to anybody. I teach it in my concealed carry classes to plain old civilians. Unfortunately, we're all supposed to say all the time. There is nothing any of us can do to stop a willful and determined bad guy, not gender specific. Nothing. Everything that could have been done, and I'm sorry if it's hashtag too soon. Go away somewhere else. Watch giggly girls bounce on trampolines or something. If you're into the guys, watch giggly guys bounce on trampolines.
Or firefighter calendars.
Yeah, that. Or I don't care. I should find the link and put it up there. One of the original, it was Vines before the many adaptations, evolutions, and morphings of Vines. Now it's TikToks. One of
Yeah.
the early hilarious less than 10 seconds that you were allowed for the short videos was the farting cat that falls off the counter. Its own passing of gas scares it so bad it falls down on the floor. Everybody likes it. Go giggle at the gassiest cat.
I was thinking of more Australia. They have their own version of it's for their it's to raise money for their SPCA, but they get firefighters shirtless, holding puppies and kittens and stuff.
Yeah.
I find it funny, you know, but that's my sense of humor.
When, and this is another one, the plot
I mean,
is afoot.
ladies and others are entitled to whatever calendar they want to put on their wall.
Yep.
It doesn't hurt my
52.
feelings
Oh,
whatsoever.
oh. So I understand it's a 9mm handgun. I don't really care, but everybody would end up, if anybody ever came across, they'd be like, well, man, what kind was it? What does it matter? It doesn't matter. What if this? What if that? What if that? No, no, what ifs? Bad person, for whatever reason. The reasons all come down to the old school. Here it is. This is what all the investigators, the historians, once the important, immediate stuff is done, meaning any mess is cleaned up, people are given some time, there's loved ones and relatives and friends and families of two DOAs. There is some mess and probably some holes in walls and things like that that are just going to get made worse because they got to gouge the projectiles if they landed in walls or doorways, doors. They got to take the whole doors out and replace them. So there's some stuff that has to happen. But somewhere
Yes.
in and along the thing, maybe even immediately, Madison seems put together, and Dane County. There should be somebody asking, which link in the chain of events could have prevented this? And any of you out there on planet Earth thinking, well, G word law, you're thinking wrong. Go talk to the free counselors where they're still free. And let the counselor say the right words, because I'm just going to tell you, you're wrong. That's not what this is about. But that's the question we're all supposed to be, especially when we're far away and not involved. And if it doesn't come out later in reports, reviews, investigations, investigative reporters, the journalists are going to come up with their super dramatic stuff. It's going to happen. Somebody already sent me an email this morning with a link to, oh, the her, the bad guy. There's a picture of the bad guy with exactly the same shirt that one of the Columbine bad guys had on. Okay. Well, until you have something to go, until you have the 1,000 words to go with that photograph, I would just assume, well, that's an oddball coincidence. Like me saying yesterday, George, Elizabeth, you were here. I said, tell me why. I don't like Mondays. Yes, I always ask, how could we have prevented this? Rather, TH. There's more coming. Pending. There is a pendency. I said it yesterday. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Q. I forgot to put the Q in there. I said it yesterday. There was no goosebumperlies up me. I was having a kind of a rough Monday. So I did look up Once Upon a Time in San Diego. Another fine, this one is pronouns ascertained, young woman who's now, I guess, what we would call an older young woman in San Diego, California. Did some of that pew-pew out of school. It's the original, the first. Same age, young woman, young girl. But the CNN latest, updatest, polling from FBI and Giffords don't mention it. They say there's only 2 female school pew-pewers in all of American history. So that kind of struck me dumb. Why are they forgetting this? Hello, FBI? The Boomtown Rats made a song because when the police asked or they told the bad girl, they said, did you do it? And she said, yes. And so the copper told her, tell me why. And slammed his hand on the table, TV cop style. And she said, I don't like Mondays. San Diego. Ocean water temperature. Yeah, let's look that up. San Diego. School. The word I can't say. There it is. Brenda Spencer. Cleveland Elementary School. That word we're not supposed to say in relation to a school. Happened in. See? Fine. Brenda Spencer was. This happened all the way back in 1979, and FBI and Giffords and CNN don't seem to remember it. Hey guys, wake up. There's been more than 2, or does California just not count? Apparently she was a little older. They decided last year, I think. No, 2 years ago. All together, her and the parole board, that she's not ready to go out. So they put it off again for 3 more years. She's due for another parole board meeting next year. Brenda Spencer. Don't like Mondays. San Diego. It is covered. Get a link to the wiki page. But I don't find any dates that match or anything else. So apparently, if there is a tie or an obsession, we'll find out later. But it would appear, because everybody's squawking about that Columbine shirt, that this young person in Madison wasn't trying to do a Monday thing. And none of the rest of the world appears to know about it. So let's ask Brenda Spencer. Giffords. That's another one. So many apologies. Forever too soon. Ms., Mrs., whatever. Giffords. Apparently the Giffords. CNN ain't fibbing. Not that I would like to help them be any more correct. Or maybe they just don't look back that far because, they started when the Giffords Law Center. Enough is enough. If you lean that way, I certainly don't endorse or agree with anything going on at the Giffords Law Center. That is alchemy. But they probably, yes, everything they've got appears since poor Miss Gifford's incident. And I never did figure out, and I don't care to look it up. If either of you know, did they ever figure out why that dude shot her? How could we have prevented this rather than, and let's find out who to blame? I work for that corporation that reviewed school, those words. They just did not want to hear how to prevent bad things rather than blame, 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 yeah. And blame, blame, blame inanimate objects. We can't take responsibility for ourselves. Yeah. So it was a shirt that caused the bad things in the world. Some people are really not smart. That's not true. They leave out many if they are at schools no one cares about anyway. Meaning no one of consequence got shout or almost shout there. Columbine. The retired homicide detectives who did the major could we have done to not have this happen as me viewing video. Who caused this? Who all the kids said was the meanest and worst bully ever. The one smilingly telling the media all he knew about the why, except that he ruined people's lives daily for fun. Imagine that. We have discussed that there are, in previous streameries, in previous live tubes, there are many people out there that are just dissatisfied. My grandfather called them SHI plus disturbers. They just like to go spread misery around, make other people unhappy. Because why not? They have the power to do so. It's all good. Yes. So I don't know what link in the chain of events. You never know. Because we still know nothing about the guy that shouted at the 4 people injured, 1 KIA'd in Butler, Pennsylvania. We might find out. We might not. Don't get outsmarted by a 15-year-old. I think they said this one's age is. Maybe she published the shirt picture to send you on a wild goose chase.
That would
Maybe
be
not.
hilarious.
I don't know. That's just like that That's why I'm trying to say, I don't know. I'm not. If someone finds out, let us all know. But don't go saying things. They've done really good not saying things out of Madison, Wisconsin. That they always run off saying things. Mm. I did see some headlines earlier today about how the cops and the FBI's and everybody raided the home. They didn't raid any home. They didn't kick any doors down. Yes, some cops went there with all their battle armors on, their cop clothes. That's what SWAT guys do. They can't think. No one. Here's a spot of the. What are you? What are you guys doing? Where's the guy in the suit to go do that door knock? Because you're talking to the parents of somebody, a teenager, who is now unalived. Do you really think the parents are a threat as well? What are you doing? And they didn't kick the door in and raid the house. And they all went there. They carefully searched the house. They have had cooperation and much communications with the parents. The news was like, when are you charging them? When are you charging them? And the cops were like, at this time, we're having conversations. We'll let you know. Good job, cops. I really am proud of all the polices that are doing what they're doing up there. Especially when the news people are like, when are they going arrested? When are they going arrested? And I don't remember the bad guy names. Sorry. Maybe you guys can remember the event. Who was the last one that they went and his mother was some kind of drug addict or whatever we're supposed to call him that day, substance diseased or something, and they arrested the dad as well about the firearm.
I don't know.
That is the one worst swear word in our native language. Not the next is gossip. Here in Los Angeles, the DA who specialized in gang reduction told her training class that the worst gangs from at least one foreign country tell just someone, do this or else, and show them. Yeah, the or else is very serious. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't even remember if it was a school pew-pewer. Mass. That word I can't say on stream. Father arrested. Yes, it was a Georgia on September 6th, 2024. Seems like 1,000 years ago to me. We've had a busy year. The Appalachian High School suspect father was arrested September 6th, 2024. I don't, the name is on screen at the BBC, but I don't care. I really try not to let that get in my eyeballs. Show me the victim names, ages. I really would like to know something about. I used to have lots of that stuff on my other social media that vanished. I thought I worded it carefully enough. Hey, before they fade away, before it all drifts away forever, somebody get a little tidbits about these people, how they passed away matters, but you know the old saying, it's not how they passed away, it's how did they live. That we have to remember what what's one of their favorite songs or their favorite movie, that kind of thing. And show them pictures of the family. That was going on in CA as far back as 1979. The kid who unalived a whole family was a great student, had nothing against him, but the DA said, "We do not think it was him." There are lots of strange things in our world. Now, uh, GA dudes. I better not put dude. Bad guy's father was arrested. September. No links. So sorry. 01. 11. Do you want to yap, Sir George, or do you want me to put the girl up?
Put the girl up.
The girl is going. Ha! There she is. If someone other than Elizabeth types in the chat, tell them he'll be right back. I shall be right back. Yay, I am returned. Right over at 1.
Well,
2.
sir, I think I'm going to cut out early because it's been one of those days.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's been fun, and I hope to maybe we can do it tomorrow.
We shall certainly see.
All right. You have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
So we will say GH is out. Good night. Good night, sir. I thought of another one. Were the parents charged in Butler? Yeah. Um, September. FBI.gov. Well, I don't see anything about it. I'm going to take that name off the screen. In our programs, we made it mandatory for both parents to be present. But be quiet while the kids work things out. We had trained therapists and mediators who worked in the programs. We could tell quickly who was causing all the trouble. It was the one who ended up in the mediation and youth court program several times a week. The parents usually got tired of defending them because they were hauled out of work. When the DA and the principal said, "Get that dad in here," it turned out the dad lived in Taiwan. When he came, he had his son living in a mansion with housekeepers, etc., and also had started a gang. Oh my gosh. In a world gone mad. I remember some noise a while back about the Butler thing. I wondered if that's why people were hollering. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Relax, relax, relax. Stop resisting. I saw the thing earlier this morning. It said they didn't believe there was a particular person being sought or hunted, targeted. 3 hours ago, there was another news conference, according to the AP News. And yes, we discussed it some yesterday. My wife sent me a video a couple of days ago that I finally watched this morning. And the guy was asking the question, and no one answered him in his comments. I didn't either. I wasn't logged in. Why do they all seem to repeat the same words? Is it brainwashing? No. Maybe they're brainwashed like everyone was. Everyone was. It's because that's what the police said, and they have to make this fit. See how it says everyone was in Wisconsin school. Dot dot dots. They got to make it fit in the Twitter feeds and the people. It used to be 140 characters. And I know it's called X now. I'm aware. I'm an old guy. And all the other screens and all of everything that are obviously not as wide as my monitor. I'm an old school, old computer type person. Turn your phone sideways if you're trying to watch my streamers on your phone. That's why they block everything off so narrow. It's so it'll fit on an upright phone. So they got to catch what they can catch. They all have the same like mindedness. See if we put everyone was. They all say the same thing. Not because they're trying to wash any brains or repetition prime or MK Ultra, the general public in a vast alien space invader conspiracy. It's because the key word of the catchphrase is easy to get up there and fit on the screen. We had a client when we investigated, we found yes, even the teachers were bullying the kid. It was sick. When we do not stand up for people or laugh because we are afraid, the bully will come after us. Kids get the idea. They hate everyone. Yes. And I was always the one who somehow managed to get myself stuck around and around the kids that got bullied and would be rather ugly. And, you know, if we're going to play a game of fisticuffs, you ain't going to play it with the, whatever, you senior high school football player are not going to go play fisticuffs with a 14-year-old high school freshman, teeny tiny little guy in a wheelchair. True story. I don't know that I should call him a friend, but whatever. That's the language everyone understands. Barry. Rip. Barry was very small. He was proportional, but tiny. One of my granddaughters is a twin. She's the non-dominant twin. She's tiny, perfectly proportional. Everything's fine. Her brother is giant, and she is tiny. Kids that were preemies sometimes get small. Kids whose mamas don't eat enough vegetables, maybe. I don't know. And maybe it's genetics or whatever. Barry was very small, like below 5 feet small. Tiny, tiny. Between 8th grade and 9th grade, to alleviate some of his life problems and everything else, his parents took him to specialty surgeons, and they were surgically with big contraptions and machines that I'm sure were extremely painful, stretching and lengthening his legs surgically for his mental health so that he could be taller. And anyway, because he'd been tiny and bullied his whole life for being tiny, and for whatever other reason, Barry was very good at bringing it on himself. Because he just really didn't care. He was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. But he could never realize, especially when I was the one who got knuckle sandwiched. You know, they'll go pick on someone else. If you every single day, all day, keep calling the bullies over here and calling them silly names and all that, they are going to bruise up their hands on your noggin every single day. And there was a couple others, nerds, all this other stuff. And one of them is the one that I keep putting on to-do lists and then not to doing. My friend Alexis. I spent much time and bruises standing between them and bullies. And it's a big, big world of difference to people who know different. Like when I don't remember what grade it was. When Barry was in one of the grades before high school. Of all things, it was discovered by a shirt that rode up his back or a free dress day. We went to a Catholic school. I don't remember what the deal was, but it got found out. I don't even know if they still exist. That you used to could buy underwear for your favorite superhero character. And when the big boys and the big guys and the tough guys and the guys figured out whatever that Barry was wearing Superman underpants or Batman or something. I don't know. Some superhero. It was not a superhero girl. Wouldn't have mattered. I don't care. Well, Barry was wearing underoos. So of course they pulled him up in the back, wedgie style, and hung him on a coat hook on the back of a door. Once upon a time, you could buy underpants that wouldn't just rip and let you down off a hanger on the back of a door. But that's still just bullying. The games I played in school were games of life and unaliving extreme violence designed for adults. After us, kids get the idea they hate everyone. Some kids do. Barry grew up good. I grew up all right, I guess. I guess anybody that I treated poorly, if I did, whatever. I deeply, wholly apologize. I was overreactionary. I was just a product of my environment. Like I wouldn't usually get into it bad and do stupid. Standing between Alexis or Barry, or there was another guy named John that people really liked to bully. That was all in high school / college. I find that a lot of, especially down here in the South, they don't understand. Little tiny towns, and that was not a very large, I don't know, I guess it's private. The school in Madison, and it covers all grades, so we have some of those local. But I imagine in a bigger place, little towns, if you combine two towns, which we always joke, the two of us should just combine so that we can stretch the limits, and one or the other can get the sales tax from Walmart that strategically put itself in the unincorporated areas between the two towns, so it doesn't have to pay any city taxes. There's a reason it's a huge giant retailer. Pretty smart. Anyway, I imagine what could go on in a 380,000 population people. Then if you combine two of the local towns, you might get 10,000. It's a little bit different. It's a big city by rural people's living standards. We will find out sooner or later something. Unless she turns out to be like, if she goes by she, or went by. And I know you've heard it too much, the meme. I used to write it on my other social medias. I keep saying it on these things. Young people of all ages, if contemplating such a thing, go get help first. Don't do it. Not to yourself or others. Please, please. There was some other headline stuff that I was gonna goof with today. Moving away from the deep end. Bullies, broken people, school, uh, bad stuff. Try to keep it all ages. All right, check it off, check it off. We did the Tell Me Whys. Once Upon a Time in San Diego, covered it. So the last thing I had on the list was just do the Chitty-Chatty. Try to stay mellow. It's a TODO song. Float shallow. Maybe we should look up that flatulating cat. Just keeping it real. Hour and a half in. I'll probably go at least 2.5. But it might be only 2. Hey. Not even revisiting the previous stuff. Makes my guts boil. Let's talk about again. I got some of the admin done over there. Let's go back to close that one. Go to YouTube Home. Let's see what YouTube Home is recommending. It was recommending a bunch of stuff when I first logged in, but I clicked the wrong clicker and it went off that screen. I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm not going to go back over it. I watched quite a few recently, police activities. They have a lot of the tough stuff, and most of it you have to be logged in so that they can age verify and all this other stuff. Graphic warnings. Last couple of days, I watched a few of those. Stay up to date on the stuff. I don't know what the Dr. Mike versus Dr. Mike is on the Destiny channel. I don't know. And let's scroll a second. Oh, I did watch this whole thing earlier, now that it's 4 days old. A Whitehall police officer, I don't know where Whitehall is, was fired for falsifying evidence in the arrest of, and then they came up with another case that this lady cop had doctored evidence or planted evidence or made false statements, and so they fired her, and now the union is after the police chief for firing her, and they went and got her a job at another local department or agency or whatever. Tasted my fruit cake while wrapping it. It was good. Glad no one else likes fruit cake. I don't know. I'm just sharing. Good job. That's how we're supposed to do it. Oh my gosh. 01. 35. O's. Scrolling. Recommends and headlines. Yay. Fully interrupted with fruit cake. I almost spelled it like I usually do. Fruit cake. Aha. Yep. Big bunch of mess. The coppers. Man, it's been about that long. And it's not marking it as you viewed this. This Jump Van Halen drum cover by Cena? I don't know her name. 11 years ago. I shared it on that other social media. I was quite impressed. See? It has a memory. Big brother does. Big tube brother. John Kennedy excoriates an NCAA president over trans inclusion in women's sports. Might be good George left. Get rested, get fed. Feel good, George. I don't know if I should say on stream. I say I don't like John Kennedy. My missus does. I do like sometimes reading what he had to say because the way he delivers it, it's not always what you say, but how you say it that matters. His delivery sometimes is like, yeah, I'm done with him. But you go, Kennedy. I'm just in the league of if you need a special just for you category, then that's what it's got to be. Everybody else can't be made utterly uncomfortable so that you're perfectly comfortable. And I do have a bad attitude about it, I guess. Because I think some of those may well be, like Elizabeth typed in the chat box earlier, their whole goal in life is to upset everybody else. They get crazy offended, gender people. Your cause was hijacked before you were ever born by the bad people in this world who want to go out and raise havoc. Let's call it. Still scrolling headlines. I often look at football and remember, makes me laugh when my mother mentions that my brother's off watching football game or something. Because I learned to dislike football. Honestly. Honest. One of the old scout troop did not make the team for his college tuition, but heard they had scholarships for men in ballet, so he took classes, tried out, and got in. Went to college. Not as a woman. Yep, that's right. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I'm pretty mellow California beach bummy kind of guy. but I guess kind of democratic in if you gather the entire team, whatever it is, together, and they vote one of theirs off the island, I guess that's got to be what it's got to be. Got out, graduated, and on to his career. No more ballet. Good for him. Ballet could have become a career. Ask Aunt Evala and Rita Manita. Package opening. I don't think of that. Why are you showing me this stuff? The American Experience. Monopoly's Secret History. I watched some PBS Frontline the other day. Because I was talking about it through the microphone. I said, wouldn't you like to watch some Frontline? Sure. I don't even remember what it was I watched, but I liked it. It was a good show. Frontline does a good job. And then let's chat. I had a crazy week. Barely. Okay. No. No, thank you. How can they let documentaries about Adolfo in the world? Because history happened. Downfall was a pretty good movie, and there's lots of. It became meme. Everybody takes his temper tantrum scene out of that movie and makes meme out of it. Downfall. Yelling meme. They just have lots of stuff. Three-bladed lightsaber. You can go search it yourself. There's downfall meme templates at the image flip. Img flip. It was back in 2006, 2005. Just yesterday, just last month, whatever 2005 was. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was viral. I don't think they even called it memes then. Silence of the Lambs is available. Free with ads on YouTube. It's been very hard for me not to click it. Come closer, Clarice. Closer. Trump makes a reporter regret asking insane questions. Good job. Good job, Mr. President. Yeah, that was in the headlines last night, or he got denied immunity in one of his New York cases. I still think he should fight that and get some better lawyers. Take it to the Supreme Court and get the law canceled. Let the law that is unjust now get cancel cultured. Trump, please get that NY law SCOTUS stricken. Or, I don't know what they call it anymore. The Big Hope. The Big Court of NY. They don't have a SCNY, I don't think. What is the highest court in New York called? The Court of Appeals. You see why you confuse us? You purposely do this. This is why all of the Federalist Papers were directed and, dear people of New York. Nope. Yoko has a wish tree and dedicated tree growing to John's memory. One of the guys I know gave me a magazine article that said one nation had planted 1 billion trees, actually to restore forests and orchards. I did see, scrolling by sometime in the last couple of days, appeals that I can't think of their name right now. I can think of the JRE, Joe Rogan Experience. Joe Rogan had in the last week memory activated by Julian. Is that his name? Julian Lennon. Let's look it up. But the chat came in. Slide it over. The Jane Goodall groups grew another 1 million trees. Several other programs have grown at least 3M more, and one big corporation replants every tree they use with 3 saplings planted. People are trying. Let's ask for the JRE, Julian Lennon. 1 day ago, Joe Rogan Experience. I don't recommend or whatever. I'm trying not to clout something. I don't remember what the kids these days call it. I just remember seeing it. They have clips. You can go search it yourself or open link in new window. No, no, no. Sorry. Open link in new tab. This episode is brought to you by, oh, that's sponsor stuff. There are spacious townhomes available in the experience.
Listen, you want to skip this?
Yep, I want to skip it. Link over there. It will be in the comment later. I don't know anything about Julian Lennon. That's John's son, isn't it? John and Yoko. Julian is the first son. John is the second. They used to have much negatives, but are friends now. Well, anybody that really is interested in the son of John Lennon, there it is. It's a 2 hour and 46 minute and 58 second, right up my speed. I like to watch the long stuff on the tube. Even though maybe one day, we'll see. It's good for me. Keeps me moving. Reaching over there and skipping the ad after I let it play for at least 10 to 15 seconds. I try to help out the streamers, the video loaders, the YouTubers. I don't know yet. I haven't figured out and I've asked several of the big people, but they got better things to do than answer my questions. Well, there's Crimson Tide. Denzel, he fine. I've told that story before. I don't have a link. I don't have an index. Still working on it. Trying to decide what to do about getting all this stuff cross-indexed and stored on like a web page so that I can quickly, when I start talking about, oh, yeah, I talked about that in the previous, I can go look on my own logger, indexed something or other. Say it's right over there and show number whatever. Look about 4 hours in. This is another one. I think I would give it 6 out of 10. It would be 5 out of 10, but these are two fine actors and they do a fine job. Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. Especially people going into government. Maybe, probably not in the military. I don't know. I'd have to ask some of my military friends. Current and former. But definitely people going into military should watch Crimson Tide. If you won't read a book on anything else, or listen to a story, or take a class that you stay awake in, go watch Crimson Tide and see that you can not follow the orders. In a movie, maybe you'll decide, man, I could act in a movie like that and go become a famous actor and make good movies that some guy on the internet will say, wow. Julian is the first son. Sean is Yoko's son. Julian is the one who drew the picture that inspired John to write In the Sky with Diamonds that everyone thought was LSD, but it was not. It was just a kid drawing. Well, I was another one of those that's what everybody always said, and that's what the initials are. So I don't know that I've repeated it. I don't talk about the Beatles much. Crimson Tide. Fruit ads, rated R. Open a new tab. Autoplay was blocked. So we'll go over here. But the moral of this story is good. Crimson Tide. 1995. DW. 6/10. Good story. Fast lessons. You got to get them from wherever you get them. If you discount the modern stage, free with ads, which is what our movies and películas are. It's just a modern stage. Very well edited, hopefully. The stage is good, either as an audience or as a stage person. Life schooling experience because it teaches you to deal with things dynamically or on the fly. Like if your costume breeches rippers. Stuff like that. How is that applicable to the real world? I don't know. Because every day you're out in the world performing something. You may not know it. Auntie L and E loved the Beatles. Had all the magazine articles about them. John said the little boy gave him a picture, put it on the fridge door. He asked him, "What is the name?" Luciana. Yep. With diamonds. The Beatles. Man, we talked about the Marengo tales the other day. Oh my gosh. Get off my screen. I'll scroll it back later. If any of you saw that. Shadiversity, 12 hours ago. 16,000 views. Send some people my way, Shadiversity. I keep recommending you. The Marengo tales. Let's go back to Marengo. All you decoder coders. Figure it out. What is he talking about? I don't know. It's a cipher. It's a code. Cipher means nothing, null, nil. More. Marengo tales. Help! Elizabeth was talking about E loving the Beatles. And then let's go watch the Google bar. Because is that when the record came out? Beatles. Help. Wiki. Help! Exclamation point. I remember it fondly. Haha, not. No, it was not. I guess that's just when Eva got it. Or maybe that's when we got a record player. I don't know. Something happened. Whenever the housing was on the Marengo Tales, the Auntie Evala got herself a fine, fresh vinyl copy of the Beatles album Help! Exclamation point, and played it every minute she was in the house. Every so often she'd go flip it over and let it play over and over and over. And I really learned to dislike all of the music on the Beatles' Help album. It was overplayed in my environment. Man, they got a lot of information about. You like me too much. Dizzy Miss Lizzie. I don't remember anything about it. Not going to listen to it. Not going to look it up. All the other ones, just looking at the title, I can think of almost all the lyrics and all the music right in my noggin. The horror. The horror. I don't know why I don't remember that one. Dizzy Miss Lizzie. Thanks, Auntie. And then, when I would go, because I still had a hold of my book and vinyl record album combo of the point, as soon as I would evict the Beatles' Help and go back to listening to me and my Arrow, straight up and narrow, Eva would come out with the hi-fi stereo headset and make me listen to that in my own noggin. She didn't want to hear it. It'd been played too much. How about that? She's the adult. She got to say so, and we all had to listen to the Beatles. Help! Exclamation point. A lot. Any other movie phones recommended for me? I was about to scold the YouTube for showing me too much woman skin today, but wait, this is music's. Oh no, that's some guy's version of it. Miss Dido does often. Show off her body proudly. It's fine. If I had it, I would too. But I'm supposed to be a gentleman and not look. Oh, there is a new 28 movie coming out. I saw that a while back. For you 28, I think it was days and then weeks. I don't remember. We got to 0201. Came across 28 millenniums. 28 something years. Years later. Trailer. I don't know when it's coming out. I know I've seen the first ones, probably the first one a couple of times. Please don't play. Please don't play in the background. I know I clicked you. I didn't mean to. Share. Copy. It'll be down in the comment. Later. Whenever I end the stream, and it allows me to put a comment, not a chat box. Beatles. Dizzy. Miss Lizzie. Lyrics. Why don't I remember this song? It says, ow! Exclamation point. Man, a lot of exclamation points on that daggone help! Exclamation point record. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzie. The way you rock and roll. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzie. When you do the stroll. Come on, Miss Lizzie. Love me before I grow too old. Come on, give me fever, give me fever. That's another song. Put your little head in mine, you make me dizzy, dizzy, Lizzie. Oh girl, you look so fine. You look so fine. Just a rocking and a rolling girl, I said, I wish you were mine. Ah! Exclamation point. Ow! Exclamation point. Woo! Exclamation point. If my reading drives you nuts, it's because my auntie did this to me when I was a child. With the Help! Exclamation point album. Oh, say you're driving me insane. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Nope, I'm not going to say that. Run and tell your brother. Don't run and hide. Put your little hand in mine. Come on, girl. I don't remember it. It's not ringing any bells. I may or may not look it up later. There are good. I don't remember which album they're all from. Probably the White Album. I don't know. I like the guitar gently weeps and she's so heavy. Something else. It's something else slash she's so heavy. Go back to home. Start over. Die Hard with a Vengeance. This one's been up here for free for a long time. 1995. It's a shame about Bruce Willis in the thing. I used to have many odes and tributes. Two. Oh, five. We'll say 10. Or with a vengeance. Leads to thinking about Bruce Willis. Not the Fawny today. She's off. She's off the schedule. Bruce Willis. I don't want to misstate diagnosis. Okay. Good thing. But, associative thinking. It happens in humans. Copy. Blah. Frontotemporal dementia. Insta associates in the W to GLORIA. Gloria. Louis. I don't know how to spell it. Body. Dementia. I got to get a new keyboard. Save the money. Louis. Oh, no E. No second E. That one. Louis body dementia. It happens. See, that's what happens to most, I guess, most me. You look at something, it makes you remember something else, and then it makes you remember something else. And since we were talking about my Aunt Evala, she was fast at that. She'd say, "You ready to do association game?" And she'd say something, and you're supposed to come back fast, and then that would cause her to come back fast with something. Usually Three Stooges lines. She had them all. And then she would go into the whole. She would often take any opportunity she could to say, like if you stuttered, if you said, you, she said, did you just call me a you? And then she'd go off on something else. And she could do a lot of the lines and stuff from Duck Soup. Can't think of who that was right now. Some brothers. Marx Brothers. So, we'll blame her again. It's her fault. She kept us up on our brain toes. So lots of Three Stooges stuff. That was her favoritist. She eventually would get back to, depending on what you said, she would somehow twist it into the appropriate insertion in the whole. Let's look it up. You remind me of the man. Voodoo. They talked about it in Labyrinth, 1986. 1986 was a big year for movies, music, books. I don't know, besides putting it in 1986 as whatever. Here's The Bachelor and the Bobby something. Cary Grant. The Power of Hoodoo. Chasing down a hoodoo there. That's CCR. Anyway, you can go look it up. Find your favorite version. It goes, according to my Aunt Ibla, there's a chubby checker version. You remind me of the guy. No, it was always the man with Aunt Eva. Remind me of the man. What man? Man with the power. Power? What power? Power of voodoo. Voodoo what? You remind me of a man. And she goes fast. That's from a Clint Eastwood movie. We go fast, he says, and then he spills the little cart that he's racing around the place because he's in a hurry with his little baby daughter in it. But she gets hurt, and he gets in trouble because we go fast. Anyway, Gloria. On September 11th, 2001, long before Lewy body dementia finally got Gloria a few years ago. Rip. Way back in '01, on the big day, Bobby Soxer. Gloria had abused my pager. She had called all the phone numbers she had for me, and finally she called who was, I guess, my girlfriend then. We were in a committed, mature, monogamous adult relationship, who is now what I call my wife, because that's what the Chinese people call us. They don't understand that we didn't go get ownership papers at the county. Yet, when she says so, we will. We have all of our other papers in order, so it doesn't matter. She dared to call that about 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30. So my woman finally got a hold of me, which got me more yelled at because I was running a friend's horse place then. So when I did get up I don't remember when I woke up. Whenever I woke up early in the morning, I didn't check pagers and phones and phone machines. I got up, pushed the coffee button, and went out there and started slinging new hay into bags and old hay into a wheelbarrow, if you catch my meaning. So at some point or other, I finally got back indoors and saw the blinky blink on the phone machine and heard the pager going 2001. Some of us still had pagers on vibrate. And then the phone started ringing again, so I answered it. And it was my wonderful woman. And she was mad as Hades and told me to get a hold of Gloria and tell her to stop calling my house. So I finally got a hold of Gloria, and she was hiding under the desk at work. And I said, Gloria, this is about 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. I said, Gloria, what are you doing? She said, I'm hiding under the desk. I said, why? She said, I just knew I know, not new. She said, I know something big, something giant is going to happen today. I said, well, under the desk? She said, well, I didn't know, so I crawled under here to where the computers are and the printer is, and I had to move the printer out of the way because maybe the cords were going to catch on fire and burn the work down or something. It was having a severe panic and anxiety problem since about 4:45 that morning. She'd given up on me about 5:30 and started harassing my lovely women. I finally talked Gloria out of the desk and told her to go home because work still didn't open for about 2.5 hours. So take it easy, everything's okay. Walked Gloria through checking some stuff on the phone and couldn't we unplug this and couldn't we unplug that? And I said, fine. We can unplug it, but you got to remember, plug it back in before all the employees show up. Okay, okay. Since I was up and coffeed and had done all my work and spoke to my woman and said, now what? She said, well, come up here. I'll make you some more coffee. We'll watch TV. Back then, we used to watch TV in the mornings if we had time. Catch the morning shows. I don't remember what she liked to watch. Anyway, she bobbled off to do whatever. I was sitting there watching the TV, looking at all the pager messages from Gloria. When that footage of the first plane hit those buildings and they were doing some kind of interview of construction workers or road workers. I don't know what they were doing. They were just like a morning show thing. And all I could think about, because I was looking at it, is like a 911 star, something big, star, 911 star on my pager from Gloria. She called that one. We could have never done anything about it. So then, of course, about, I don't know, 9:15, she started pagering again. Tell my woman by her name, I'm so sorry. If I'd have known it was going to be in New York, I wouldn't have bothered her. True story. But then, sometime later, and later and later, Lewy body dementia got Gloria. She never did have another precognitive, spine tingly event like that. But wow, she panicked. Precogged. 09, 11, 2001. Something big is going to happen today. Approximately 5:30 through 6:30 a.m. Eastern. There you go, Gloria. You're re-memorialized. I had several times put on the other vanishing socials the tale of Gloria, and I was able to tag some of her best friends and neighbors and mine. Not neighbors, best good friends, people that trust you with their children are your friend. At least that's how they think of you. You better be careful with that. That is a giant, giant something. I don't know what you call it. Trust. That's all I can think. Yeah. September 11th. I was going to try to look up. Except it might have an ad. I'm sure it would be a. So here's a Frontline PBS. 2 months ago. An hour and 23 minutes. A year of war. Israelis and Palestinians. Full documentary. I probably won't watch it. Just scrolling the YouTube home. Because it feels like home. There's Crimson Tide again. It really wants me to watch Crimson Tide. Ha ha, fool you, YouTube. I'm not watching that again. I've seen it several times. See? See what happens? Big Brother is listening. Here is Jack Talisman. September 11th footage. Extremely graphic content. 17 minutes long. With 3.4 million views. That's probably got pop-up ads, so I'm not going to look at it. But everybody that was here witnessed it. I was just running my mouth. I didn't search any search. I did run my keys in my notepad. That's not even in the web browser. And there it is. Popped it up on the screen. Coincidence. It's just a coincidence. That's what they all keep saying. That, if you sit in the other room talking with your friend on the phone about an object and then it comes up recommended for you on your shopping or your video platform, it's all in your head. You believe in conspiracy theories. I guess so. Don't gaslight me, tube. They're doing a double backward, forward, flea flicker, flopper, football terms. Psyops on all of us. Because if I scroll back, will it still be there? Or will it be something else entirely? It's all right. I got a recording offline too. Tombstone. 10 out of 10. I think I've scrolled that one by before. Everybody go see it. And for all the many, many parts, of course, maybe my mom, maybe Elizabeth would understand. Most other people don't understand. They don't even remember it happened in the movie. And yes, I remember all the Doc Holliday lines. And the Wyatt Earp lines. And what's his name? These are the character and historical people. I can't think of his name. Clanton. Ike, maybe. Law don't go around here, Law Dog. No, I don't do the voices. The best part of that movie to me, fantastic. Maybe Ty. Okay, a little better. I'll name both of them. The first one is when he steps off that train and that guy's rough handling that horse with that knotted up rope. And he takes that knotted up rope and smacks that dude with it. Says, hurts, don't it? Fantastic. Tombstone. Number one. Best one? Mm, hurts. Don't. And then best. Man, it's hard to say. Number two. Best two. Has to be number two. The China Beach girl. Can't think of her name. What's her name? I don't know. China Beach. IMDb. It is not giving it to me. Dana Delaney. Dana Delaney. Delaney. Every bit, every second, every moment she's in there. She's a rock star. She's a superstar. She's just a really um aesthetically appealing to the eyes and has a fine voice. A tour. And when she said that stuff about I'll drink of water over there or whatever, but just the way she acted, just a few seconds when somebody said something and she said about Wyatt Earp, she said, I want one. It made me giggle and giggle. It was funny. She objectified a man. On 9/11, I had a day off, was sitting reading my homework books while listening to horses munch. The neighbor came sliding up on the gravel, hysterical about war. He started a war. I thought, why does she think this is funny? Then heard her radio. We went up to her house just as the second building was hit. I called Auntie. A deputy answered. I started to cry. He said, what are you crying for? I said, because if you are answering, it is real. He said, aren't you supposed to be at work? I did not even wonder how he knew, first of all, who I was, or that my contract said in crisis I had to go to work so people with small kids could go home. I went. I emailed you and Tim. This is the end. I love you both. And the kids and I watched them rearm the big silos at JPL the next morning. Hey. Yep. And then on September 12th, in the next morning, some government contractors that I did a lot of computer work with had a 911. Got to get someone down here that we can hopefully get through a clearance and a background check to a very special part of Fort Bragg back in the day to run a fiber optic network cable through a conduit and connect the fiber optic network cabling stuff at both ends. And I ran into a Marine Corps guy that I had met in California in the build up to the riots. He said, what the F are you doing here? More September 11th. I don't know why I just never. Everyone says 9/11 and I say September 11th. I don't. Fails. The next morning leads to this, leads to that. Craziness. And then, oh 02, 29, 50, break. I shall be right back. I got to go offload some beverage. Scroll that up there. Put it down there. Cover up her bubble maker. just in case somebody has hurt feelings today. I shall return. Oh boy. All right. Then I was back. Ooh, go back over there. China Beach was a good show. A long time ago. 1988 to 1991. Uh-oh. Get that bikini girl off my screen. It's no MASH. It was a good show, nonetheless. Wonder why IMDb didn't load their pictures. Something's up. Something is going on. What in the world's going on? There was a guy that used to shop at my waifaroo store. And he was always very animated. And he would say, because he had learned it at like an Amway sales event, he was in the Amway, anything pyramid he would get into. I mean, network. I mean, whatever you call it. Remember when Julie Titus started selling that Amway stuff back in the early 80s, maybe? Or whenever they first started, it was, I think, just laundry detergent. But of course, it wasn't about selling the stuff. It was about getting your friends to, and they can tell two friends, and so on and so on and so on. Kind of beach, good show, led to thinking about long ago. Uh, Thinking about what in the world is going on. Get excited, get excited. He would say that over and over. Get excited, get excited. Can't remember his name. My wife, Rue, can. Learn at the Amway school team meeting. Get excited, get excited. Not what in the world's going on. Thinking I shouldn't have said her last name. I think she's still upright and functional. It was a nickname. I was Jay selling the Amway laundry detergent. Forget what they call it here. Washing powders. That's what they call it in the South. They don't call it laundry soap. They don't call it laundry detergent. They call it washing powders. Not Northeastern. They don't say washing. Amway laundry. Well, apparently it's still available for $79.96 at Amazon.com. Some kind of newfangledy stuff. Let's try it. 1982. Show me that big old bucket box, whatever it was. Apparently that's one of their part numbers. Here's a picture of it on Reddit. Do you even Reddit, bruh? No. Open an image in a new tab. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Everywhere. This was in 1982. Everywhere. People are discovering the variety of Amway quality products. Not a sponsor. I don't know anything about them anymore. Haven't heard of them in 20 years since that guy was running around getting excited. Variety of Amway quality products without going shopping. Dishwasher detergents, scrub bud scouring sponges, L.O.C. registered trademark. Liquid organic cleaner and others make light work of your kitchen chores. I don't remember any of that stuff. I think I remember the bars. What I remember was she had giant tubs of some kind of laundry detergent. Boxes, bins, whatever you call them. From laundry detergent to pre-washes to boosters to bleach. Amway provides a complete laundry program tailored to your needs. And they most certainly get the whole story. Call the 800 numbers. Don't call them now. I don't think. They might still be available. According to this, there's all kinds of stuff happening in the world of Amway. Back then, Amway were, I don't know if they still are. Okay, MLMs. They always have to change the name every so often. Multi-level marketing company that sells health, beauty, and home care products. Distributors called independent business owners, IBOs, can earn income in a few ways. You can sell retail. You can performance bonus. You can discount price. And you can get a whole bunch of people in your multi-levels. Start your own business by becoming an Amway IBO. Good sponsor. I don't recommend it. I don't disrecommend it or unrecommend it. I don't care. Go for it. They taught that guy. We get back on target. Get back on target. What I was thinking about and went on this crazy road was a garage full of Amway laundry detergent. Not for you, and not for you to sell. For you to sell to the other people that you sign up in your MLMs. Back then it was under you, other sellers. And they'll get two people under them. It was a very much the same model, I think you call it, as Tupperware. Oh, sure, you can just sell it, have a Tupperware party. But wouldn't you make all that much more? And couldn't it be great if you could convince a couple of your friends to become sellers also? Your coworkers, stuff went around in the big city. There's a lot more. I can't imagine that working in a tiny little place like Godwin, North Carolina, a population, I don't know, 400 tops. As usual, I wondered at the lack of top security. A whole group home of foster kids watching them drive those warheads in, untarp them, and move them off the road to the silos. Yep. I had some security the next morning at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I had a white Ford station wagon when I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, September 12, 2001. They opened up spaces and compartments and secret hidey holes that I would have never thought existed, but those inspect vehicles, soldiers, and sailors and marines. Everybody was all of a sudden at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the very next morning. A lot of everybody's, including somehow soldiers who know how to seemingly disassemble in its entirety every single vehicle known to mankind and put it back together without looking like cops touched it. My friend Pat's husband, while finishing architect degree, sold Amway. She had a lot of it. When she sold her house and moved back to VA, a few years back, we shared it with friends and neighbors. As much as Miss J had all over that house in the little back laundry room area and stacked up to the ding danging ceiling just to that laundry detergent. She's probably still using it today. Maybe she was always good about giving stuff away. Maybe she gave it away. That was crazy. Get excited, get excited. That guy, he would always ask to borrow some money. And me and the wife, we would always say no. Back then, we would joke, the girlfriend, the fiance, what are you? I don't know. We're just friends. We would always joke and maybe let him wash all the windows for $3. Earn it, never give it. And one day I was sitting outside doing the fumar, and he was hanging out, and he said something about blah blah blah, and I didn't have any change except for a $5 bill. I said, well, here you go. You can borrow this $5 bill. And he always promised, whenever he borrowed money, he promised he'd pay it back. But most of the times we'd make him work it off so he didn't ever have to feel bad about it or worry about it. Because I'm sure he would have eventually been that guy from Popeye, Wimpy. Well, I know I owe you 5 from last week, so if you loan me 10 this week, I can give you your 5 back. And then he wouldn't give you the 5 back out of your 10. No, we weren't going to snowball that. So I said this one time, without you washing any windows or doing anything else, get excited, man. What in the world's going on? I said, all I got is this $5 bill. You can have it. It's a gift. Don't ever ask me for money again. Not to earn it, not to borrow it, not to have it. That's the last time. And he promised and promised and promised he'd pay it back and interest. I said, no, if I couldn't afford to lose it, I wouldn't loan it. He said, well, I'll come out after you close and clean her windows and what. I don't care, whatever. So he went off happy. Skipped through my darling, going to get him some hot dogs and french fries or something. And the next time we heard from one of his family members a couple of weeks later, he had unalived. Car accident or something. I don't remember. Oh. But he'll be remembered forever because he was such, and I'm such a bad person because I don't remember people's names. That's why I say, if there's any good, she's 90% of it. She remembers their names and who their relatives are, and she's really good at that. I just remember the faces and the stories. And get excited, get excited. And $5. Nah, that was his $5. I gave it to him. And he swore and swore and promised and swore that he was going to pay that $5 back. Do you swear? No, but I know all the words. 2 hours, 48 minutes. We got excited. We got excited. 20 seconds. Well, Elizabeth, I think I'm going to jump it off. Wind it down. Short one today. It's not that short. Almost 3 hours is not short. We went deep. We went shallow. We went back to September 11th. We got excited, got excited. Laughing about people with their Amway and Tupperware and all the other stuff. We have some friends here that still have giant storage buildings full of MLM stuff of all various flavors. Maybe we'll laugh about that tomorrow. I do know some people in the MLMs that sold the heck out of that and sold salespeople kits and did whatever and made lots of money. It can happen. Thanks again, Elizabeth, GH, and Earth. Earth. It's hard for me not to spell it with like 5 F's. For hanging out, and listening and sharing. I don't know what to say. Hearts And hearts broken emojis. Madison. Hang in there. Don't know anything else to say. Giving it a second, waiting to see how long this takes for Elizabeth to catch up and figure out. Hurry up, streamer. Usually when she realizes I'm ending this thing, she says goodnight. It's still afternoon out there. Over there, maybe. Allegedly. In a video game. Oh well, I'm not seeing it. There it is. Thank you. Now I know how to do a YouTube. Yep. We're getting there. And send me an email about the other one. Let's see. Good night in the chatter. And then we'll do the whole thing. Streaming and stream ending in 5, 4, 3,